So basically what I'm doing is I'm going down to just bare bones reporting. When I call police, I'm just going to call out the situation as it is. The mistake I've been making is that I've taken all the evidence, the threats from Chad Cronin, Sweeney, my relatives, and lumped it all in to stalking, which there is an element to that, but that's not the more serious crime. That's not to say that what they're doing doesn't also fall under stalking. But the more serious crime that these idiotic private ICE agents are making, are committing, is they're impersonating law enforcement. What are they doing? They're there to surveil me. It's illegal surveillance by police agents. But the people doing the surveillance aren't licensed peace officers. They're not getting paid from the Treasury. They're not getting paid on record. Everything's covert. They get covert kickbacks. The fact that they're sending these boneheads, these addicts and junkies, which that's not, no shade to victims of the drug trafficking of the bioweapon. These are narcissistic Nazis. So I don't feel sorry for narcissistic Nazis who love drugs so they can feel like God. So they use these boneheads and just poor narcissistic addicts. I mean, Epstein, I don't think he used drugs. Nobody feels sorry for Trump. Everybody makes fun of Trump when they think he's high. Nobody feels sorry for Kash Patel or Homan or any other drunk, powerful person who's drunk on their own power and then followed up by getting drunk on actual chemicals, whether it's cocaine, alcohol, meth, whatever. Nobody feels sorry for them. Oh, but they're rich. Well, these motherfuckers are them in poor version. They're not sympathy cases. Back to my point. What's actually happening in the situation when I'm going to be calling police is I'm going to say I need to report people impersonating police. And when she says, how are they doing that? Well, it's illegal surveillance. They're not licensed peace officers. They're not getting paid for the Treasury. They're sending these unlicensed plainclothes patients of the various outreach organizations associated with outreach, Safe Harbor, Howard Center, Justice Center, CARES, whatever, to avoid detection and thus avoid accountability. And they do, and they tell me, oh, I work for Sarah George, or I'm best friends with Sarah George, or I'm best friend, I'm something another. They're name dropping Bernie Sanders and Sarah George and trying to imply that they're acting on their behalf when they're actually working for Weinberger and Paul at Howard Center and wherever. So this video is just breaking down why I'm going to be reporting it the way I'm going to be reporting it when I do call police. I'm not going to be reporting them for stalking anymore. I'm going to be reporting them as unlicensed people impersonating police, and then the officer who calls can sort it out from there, or the dispatch or whatever. It gives the police, either the dispatch, the officer, probable cause to probe further. Now, at that point, you can still kick it over to outreach to see if they're implicated, But since I'm not reporting stalking, I'm reporting impersonating the police. I would think that would give the police damn good probable cause to roll up and say, and start questioning whoever. The little Asian guy, Lindsay Brussesi, whatever the fuck his dug at, the asshole that was in my tent, or Stephanie or whoever. I mean, when they lie to actual police officers, that's going to show, number one, they know damn well what they're doing is fucking wrong, which they already know that. That's why they get so butthurt when I call police. That's why they had Becky Burrell threaten me, although it was a covert threat. Oh, well, if you call police, they're going to destroy your camp. The fact that they're butthurt, nervous as fuck, and not wanting me to call the police, right there shows that they know what they're doing is fucking wrong. They know they're acting improperly. And, I'll just break it down however, whether it's dispatch that probes further or an officer that calls back, which I may have to. This phone, if an officer calls me back, just know this phone doesn't ring. This app doesn't have a ringing sound. I'll look into it to see if I've maybe got the ringer turned off or something and don't realize it. But if I see that I've got a call from Essex PD, a missed call, I'll call back and let them know that I couldn't answer the call. But I would think that in person, if I call and say I want to report people impersonating the police, and they've got me under surveillance, and it's 24/7, and there's several of them, and they're claiming to work for Bernie Sanders and Sarah Georgia and Mayor Mulvaney Stanek, and I don't believe they do. I believe they work for Outreach or Paul. They've actually claimed to work for. They've admitted to working for Weinberger and Judge Hoare and people at Outreach. I'm tired of it. They're going to start getting maced and tased because I've had it with them. If you're going to investigate me, you better have a fucking license to investigate me. And that's going to be the basis of, and when I talk to either the officer or dispatch, I'm going to put it like that. You want to investigate me? Fine. But you use people with licenses who know the Constitution in and out, who know rights. And the fact that they're sending these plainclothes unlicensed people to avoid accountability tells me all I need to know. They know better. They know what they're doing is wrong. And I may throw DHS Protective Services in there. I'm going to have a couple of different scripts because I really don't know what the officer or dispatch is going to ask or not ask. They may kick it over to Outreach, and I'll have a different and I'll just say, these people are impersonating law enforcement. Nothing to talk about. State police are already all over it. They believe they work for you. So, no, I'm not going to meet with you. It's a sealed investigation. I'm not letting you do a fishing expedition. Or take shit out of context and investigate yourselves. So, no, we're not going to meet. And that's all I'm going to tell Outreach. And I'll remind them that the state police will be listening to the call in real time. So if you want to lie about what happened on this call, knock yourself out. So I'm going to, since I'm escalating this to impersonating police, I'm going to let these cocksuckers, because see, right now, mostly I'm dealing with, I had Kinnear yesterday and Mike. They're cooked. They're done. But these new motherfuckers, the guy that was in my tent, the little Asian guy, Sue Ward, those are all new. I'm going to since they've been hard up my ass for the past couple weeks, I'm going to give them, a little bit more time, a little bit more rope so they get the death penalty too. Since they want to cop a fucking attitude. The Asian guy, he's actually really not. I tested him and he was not. He seemed like given the right opportunity, he'll cooperate. I think he's just kind of doing it for whatever. But again, I'll let you all figure that out. He's not that much of a threat. The motherfucker who passed out in my fucking tent and cops a fucking attitude when I call police is stalking me over at the recycling center and puffing up. I want that motherfucker on death motherfucking row. But my guess is when I report him for impersonating a police officer and hit the police who he works for, police agents, outreach that he works for, police contractors he works for, realize what a liability is, he's going to end up right next to Hennessy and Ben. And whoever else they've killed since then. And anybody bragging about being friends with Hennessy, like the assholes yesterday, they deserve whatever they get. If you're friends with that cocksucker, that means you're a like-minded motherfucker. That means you're a narcissistic Nazi piece of shit. And a racist. Hennessy didn't even hide the fact that he was racist. He called me Nigger, he called me coon. So, basically, a lot of these people are just useful idiots. Just because I'm not posting their picture or videos of them, don't mean they're not going to death row. If I get some use out of them, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them all the rope they need to hang themselves.